Well, the weekend has come to an end, but however, we do not end things here. Now, first things first, I want to apologize to everyone. I'm sorry I have not put up a new episode recently. I initially got was thinking about, of course, this past Saturday I had a shift in my regular day job, of course, and I was concerned about my own well-being over it. But I made a last minute call and decided, you know what, I'm gonna wait it out until we do both WrestleMania days, day one and day two. So I thought, why not? Let's do that. So this particular episode is for you guys. So we're gonna be reviewing both days of WrestleMania. And we're gonna see exactly what's gonna happen from A to Z. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then, of course, as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. It's WrestleMania time. So, even though it's not the Royal Rumble, I feel like I want to do it and say it. Let's get ready to rumble! That's right. I'm sure everybody knows I'm excited for this. I'm sure you're excited for this. So let's begin with day one of WrestleMania 42. Alright, WrestleMania 42. This is day one, April 18. Now, of course, we all heard who was going to be our host. You can see me. That's right, John Cena is hosting the show as we never expected. Now, we all know what happened. He was retired, but nonetheless, we're all happy that he's still around doing something. So, I'm glad to see him there. Now, our first match is a six-man tag team match. We have the Usos, Jay and Jimmy, teaming up with LA Knight, taking on iSpeed Show and The Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Now, if you all know what was really happening in this match, how this all we got here, well, as you know, iSpeed Show kind of, well, you can say he was cursed by Danhausen, and because his presence was there is what led to this match in the first place. He kind of hurt, how do I say, punched LA Knight and something with the Usos, if I can recall well, and it ended up this way. And of course, Adam Pearce told him, you should have gone home, but you're in the match. But we know that he's been training, getting everything ready. Now, of course, we weren't sure how this was going to turn out, but however, unfortunately, he ended up with the BFT by, of course, LA Knight, of course, and Theory was the one who took the fall on this one because he actually messed up. So just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. However, Logan Paul, let's just say he was upset that he didn't get his WrestleMania moment like he would have wanted. And then, of course, he wanted to hurt Speed for, messing things up. But luckily, the Usos and Knight decided to step up and help him out. So, Speed Show actually, he did the I Show splash right outside, jumping off from the top turnbuckle to the commentary table. And it's like, damn, that's a long distance. So he probably got his WrestleMania moment. And Logan Paul, well, he got his WrestleMania, but not the way he would have wanted. So we'll see how that rolls. Now, our next match is an unsanctioned match. If you know what that means, well, WWE is not held accountable for what happens to these guys. We have Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I don't know much about what's happening, but I did hear that Drew McIntyre was asking to bring back the old Jacob Fatu, the one who's a savage, a straight-up killer. You know what I mean? You've seen that guy. Those who've been around pro wrestling know exactly the Jacob Fatu we were talking about. This is the guy who's like willing to destroy you no matter what, and that's exactly what he got. I mean, you can tell this match was carnage. I mean, a lot of plunder was used. Tables, ladders, trash cans, whatever they can find to hurt each other in so much pain. But in the end, it was Fatu with the moonsault through a table on McIntyre. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, adios. It's over. Now, our next match is for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles in a 4-way match. First, we have, of course, Alexis Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus the champions, Nia Jax and Lash Legend. I forgot their tag name. And then, of course, we were supposed to have the Bella Twins involved, but unfortunately, Nikki is unable to compete due to an injury that sidelined her. But however, Brie called up an old friend, and no one expected it. But I have heard there has been rumors circulating about this. Well, you can say it's now 100% confirmed. Paige is back, of course, teaming up with Brie. Now, of course, this is a big shocker. Now, I know some people would think when it comes to these type of matches, you'll say there is no way Brie and Paige are going to win this one. Look, we all thought the same thing too when it came to Tommaso Ciampa when he won the the TBS Championship. That's what we thought, but it happened. But of course, I didn't expect it was going to be this soon. But of course, it was Paige with the what was it called? The Rampage onto Alexis Bliss, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Paige and Brie are the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, our next match is for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. Now, who would have forgotten when AJ Lee came back, things were becoming very fun and very interesting. Of course, Becky Lynch has been unsuccessful to defeat AJ Lee on multiple occasions. But of course, Wade Barrett decided to say it's all Jessica Carr's fault. If you don't know who she is the the female ref who in fact was involved in this match. But that's what was going on. But we did see that moment where, of course, Lynch was not having it with Jessica Carr all the time. And that was the whole thing. And of course, you would have thought that would have been another fatal mistake by Lynch. No. But apparently there was an exposed turnbuckle that allowed her to, of course, for AJ Lee to get hurt. And then all of a sudden, Becky Lynch applies the finisher move. And just like that, 1, 2, 3. Brand new WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Now, our next match, we have Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Now, of course, Gunther, as you know, he is showing the world who he is. People call him the career killer or something like that. But now he's facing a guy who, of course, no one knew exactly how this was going to be. I mean, Gunther, he is a savage. I mean, he is willing to put a lot of extra pain onto you. Now, of course, Seth Rollins was able to survive Gunther, but unfortunately, it didn't go according to plan because out of nowhere, Braun Breaker just attacked him. And just like that, he got his little payback. But of course, Gunther applied a sleeper hold uh, onto Rollins, but the ref called it, realizing he was out. And just like that, it was completely done. Now, we did see some of the WWE inductees involved. We did see Nick Hogan, Hulk Hogan's son, and a few others who were there too, including, of course, the newly Hall of Famer as well, AJ Styles. So thought it was a great moment to see that. Now, our next match, we have, of course, the WWE Women's World Title. We have Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vakir. So that plays out pretty well. I mean, we all saw what happened not too long ago where Stephanie attacked Liv Morgan while she was in talks with Roxanne Perez, and so we saw that little bump on her head. But I'm sure Liv has been determined to get a measure of payback for what just happened during that time. I mean, you would have assumed that Stephanie had everything under her control. But unfortunately, of course, we did see members of the Judgment Day, more specifically Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, getting involved. But Stephanie was able to, of course, to take them out. But however, she got distracted over the matter by, of course, getting herself taken out by Liv Morgan, first through the stairs, and then, of course, the Oblivion. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new WWE Women's World Champion. And of course, Dominic showed up to celebrate. And of course, Stephanie, as you know, some people saw how she was saddened that she lost. I'm sure people would have wanted to see her to win her first WrestleMania, but we'll see one day that happens. Now, John Cena made his way to give the announcement of the attendance of WrestleMania Day 1. However, the one bigger news that we did not anticipate was the arrival of Bianca Belair announcing her pregnancy. I did not saw that happening. You guys saw it, but it was great. I mean, first we saw it was what's her name? Trinity, of course, is one, and I just couldn't believe. Now it's her, so it's like very interesting to see that happening. So congratulations, Bianca Belair. So we're happy for that. Now, our next match, which is our main event, is the WWE Undisputed Championship. Randy Orton, as you know, is determined to break the record for 16 championship wins, of course, beat out Triple H's record. That was the idea. This was going to be number 15, from my understanding. Now, he did state that he does love Cody Rhodes, but this is a bit of tad personal for him. You can tell. However, of course, Randy Orton had Pat McAfee involved, but Pat McAfee was taken out by Jelly Roll, and of course, Jelly Roll put him through the commentary table, and he was out for a while. But we saw a lot of things taking place. I mean, Randy did whatever it took to take out Cody Rhodes in any way necessary. Even there was moments where the referee was taken out. Pat McAfee showed up with a neck brace, thinking this could help out win the match, but failed. But out of blue, of course, when it comes to Randy Orton, he RKO'd Pat McAfee, and just like that. But however, Cody was able to win the match by applying Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. He retained his championship. So we'll see what happens more from there. But let's see what happens right now. Let's move on with Day 2 on this. Okay. Day 2 of WrestleMania 42. This is the much recent one, of course, if everybody wants to know. Well, we opened up, of course, as always, with our host, John Cena, you can't see me. So he opened up the show as always. Now, our first opening match is a big old hoss fight, if you haven't seen one. We have, of course, the ruler, Obafemi, taking on the beast, Brock Lesnar. Now, of course, this is one of those matches where who the hell is going to be the strongest and baddest SOB on the planet? You know what I mean? These two guys, we have known Brock Lesnar for many years as one of the most, how do I say, powerhouses in the entire wrestling industry. But Obafemi has been very impressive, who's never afraid of any challenges that comes his way. And that includes the Beast himself, of course. But man, they try to take each other out in many ways possible. But unfortunately, Brock Lesnar was the one who ended up taking the fall from grace. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, the ruler continues on. However, during the post-match, Brock Lesnar, feeling saddened that he lost, he takes off his gloves, the MMA gloves that we often see, and he takes off his shoes and leaves them there. That's like, for those who don't understand much about pro wrestling and its traditions, this is the sign of retirement, meaning I'm done. So Brock Lesnar announced in a way, I'm done, I'm retired, this was my last match. So that's pretty much what we do. I think we're going to be hearing more about this, but who knows. Now, our next match is for the WWE Intercontinental Championship in a 6-way ladder match. We have Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Javon Evans, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, and of course, Cero Miedo, Penta. So now, everybody who knows ladder matches, this is one of those matches where, of course, there's going to be a lot of carnage. You can use the ladder as a weapon or use ladders for leverages in ways you wouldn't imagine. I mean, yeah, there'll be people that try to pull one person down, which is obvious. But the craziest one I've ever seen, well, the ones I've seen, Rusev did a cutter onto Rusev. I'm like, holy crap. And then Penta did a Mexican destroyer onto JD McDonough on the ladder that it was already flattened down. It was insane. And then there was a over the top by Rey Mysterio onto Rusev. I'm like, god damn, this is why you call this is a carnage match. You wouldn't imagine. Sure, the idea is to grab the ladder and go to the ladder and get to the belt, but the point is, for those who never seen a ladder match, this is a brutal match, you know. And if you don't believe me, ask the Hardys. They're the ones who innovated this type of thing. But yes, that's how it is. But in the end, it was Cero Miedo who walked away. Now, our next match is for the United States Championship. We have, of course, Sami Zayn versus Whoop That Trick. Whoop That Trick. That's right, Trick Williams gets involved in this match. It was a pretty good match. But not to mention, he did had a bit of help with a guy named Little Yachty, I think. And that kind of plays out pretty well for him in his favor. But, of course, it only took one moment for Trick Williams to apply the trick shot. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new United States champion. Now, this is a street fight. We had Dominic Mysterio taking on the Demon, Finn Balor. Now, of course, Rey Mysterio was trying to, of course, get himself out of this match because the contract stated he is supposed to face against, of course, Finn Balor, not the Demon. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, so he had to face him. But this is a street fight, folks. That means you can do whatever you want, however you want. You can use weapons. And that's pretty much what was going on. But man, this match was carnage. But nothing compared like the ladder match, of course. I mean, the ladder match stands out on its own, for those who've seen it. But the street fight, well, that's a different thing. It's just a street fight. You just beat the crap out of each other, whatever you can find, or referee can do nothing. The only way is by winning by pin or submission, but without repercussions, that sort of thing. But it took only, of course, the Demon to apply the coup de grace onto Dominic, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now our next match, we have, of course, the WWE Women's Championship. Jade Cargill defends it against Rhea Ripley. Now, of course, we've been seeing what's going on between these ladies, but man, it was a much impressive match. Two tall, big ladies taking each other out. But of course, Jade Cargill's friends showed up out of nowhere. B-Fab and Mitchin showed up. But however, the Genius of the Sky, who became her backup, showed up, gave out a helping hand until, of course, Rhea Ripley applied the Riptide. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Brand new WWE Women's Champion. So that's how it ended, folks. Now, John Cena, of course, made his presence known. Now, I don't know what the number exactly for day 1 of the attendance of WrestleMania, but he did say for day 2 it was 55,255. Now, of course, many people can say that's not the right number, but it is what they're saying. But however, he did say the combined number for both days leads up to 106,072. So that's a big number. However, of course, The Miz and Kit Wilson showed up. And I'm sure The Miz was looking for a WrestleMania moment until he's very nice, he's very evil showed up, but he didn't come alone. He brought a couple of dwarfs with him, or should I say Mini-Housens, as I was, hopefully if that's the correct term. Hopefully I don't get in trouble by Danhausen and get cursed. But anyway, he showed up in his Hausen-mobile, and he just showed up in it and introduced himself to John Cena, saying that he's a big fan. He's a Fanhausen. So basically that's how it goes, until, of course, The Miz did not like what he was seeing. Then Kit Wilson, of course, decided to shove one of the Mini-Housens, and then one actually gave him a punch in the gonads, and that kind of set up big dog pile. And The Miz had enough, because he felt like every moment he tried to do it keeps interrupted by Danhausen, and then Danhausen gave him a punch in the gonads, of course. And after that, he looked at John Cena like he's asking permission. Should I do the "you can't see me," the 5-knuckle shuffle? But I hardly doubt he calls it that. Let's call it the Hausen shuffle. How's that? So that pretty much worked out. And of course, the usual disappearing act, where he looks like he disappeared, but he's not. You can still see him. So that plays out. And I think John Cena's like, man, I've been into weird places, but this is one of them. But yes. Now, our next match is our main event. It's the WWE World Championship. CM Punk defends it against Roman Reigns, and that is a brutal match. Now, if you guys have not been following a little bit about this, you know that the relationship dates back 10 years or something, like an old rivalry or something. But man, it was one of those moments where these guys went above and beyond to try to take each other out. But the real question is, who's going to be the one to be worn out and punched out completely? Unfortunately, it was CM Punk, because he got speared by, of course, Roman Reigns. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new WWE World Champion. So that's how things are. Now, I don't know exactly what is going to happen on Raw, but I'm sure Raw and SmackDown, for those who lost their belts, lost their matches, we'll just have to wait and see how things will roll out. But for now, we are done for this. Let's move on with, of course, our last thing, which is news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin, as always, with upcoming events. Now, you may have heard of this promotion called DUSK Pro, based out of Canada. Well, they have an upcoming event called Ambitions and Vision that will take place on May 10th. However, they announced that, of course, their master ceremonies will be returning. If you don't know who I'm referring to, I'm talking about Sayuri Namba. Many of you know her who was the ring announcer for Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling. And recently, as you know, she has been doing some events with them, not only in the US but also in Canada. If you guys were aware, Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling did a 2-day show in Vancouver, which around the same time happened for Dynasty and AEW. So it's great to hear that she'll be returning to there as well. Even though I haven't seen the promotion, hopefully I find it somewhere. GCW has announced their next participant for the Cage of Survival 5. They'll happen on June 7 in Atlantic City. Is Jack Harrop. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And then finally, of course, we have the produced by Orange Crush Volume 1, The Octopus, that will happen on the 29th of June. They announced a match, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Darian Bankston. So that's pretty much what's happening for upcoming events. Now on to some developments. We want to give congratulations to, of course, Travis Williams, who is part of the tag team known as Sinner and Saint. He just recently got married. I believe that's what I saw. He and another woman were showing the rings, so I'm going to presume they got married. So we'll see about that. Joe Hendry and Gia Miller just opened up at the WWE Hall of Fame that they're in a relationship. This was something interesting I did not know. I know Gia Miller recently was in a relationship with Ace Austin, but I think they broke up a year ago or so. But yes, but it's nice to hear that they're together. So, Josh Barnett, if you guys saw what happened at the recent Bloodsport event, he is ceasing operations, closing his doors down. It's not a, how to say, goodbye. It's more like shutting down for the time being. It's still unclear what's the main reason. Now, we know that Bloodsport has been considered by WWE to have in their thingy or whatever. But yes, that's what we've been hearing. Now, interesting news in the world of Japanese wrestling. New Japan will be in a head-to-head confrontation with DDT in a event that will happen on June of this year. However, not a lot of details have been mentioned about that. So yes. Speaking of that, as you know, we have the Forbidden Door. A little bit of the details have been mentioned. That it will happen, of course. I'm trying to remember what event. Let me pull it up here. I put it down on my notes, but I didn't. Oh yeah. They said they will happen at the ASAP Center in San Jose on June 28th, of course. That's pretty much what we do know for that. Now, interesting news. It just told that Persephone, as you know, Wrestling Observer reports that WWE are considering signing her once her dual contract with both AEW and CML is over. Now, we know that recently, when it came to the Forbidden Door, that WWE has been using that as a way to gain talent. Amongst them, who was involved in that was none other than Stephanie Vakir. So there's that. Now, I'm not sure if Persephone has any interest in going to WWE. We know that WWE are trying to get, of course, many of their talents in CML to make the jump to AAA. That's something they've been looking for. But yeah. Jun Saito, if many of you don't know him, who he is a wrestler based out of All Japan. He apparently is going to be out of action due to an injury on his right eye. So that's ouch right there. An interesting development that I did not see coming, but it was interesting. B-Fab just revealed, I'm not sure if it's 100%, but she's saying it is, that Javon Evans, the young OG, is in fact her cousin. So yeah, and this is what she was saying during the in Ringer Wrestling. He's my cousin. I just told someone over there, but they didn't believe me. Yeah, B-Fab said that her and Javon Evans being related, but that's my cousin. I wasn't gonna say anything because they're like, cousin or cousin. I'm like, no, he's my cousin. So he's trying to say we're related. So that's sort of. Now, to be honest with you guys, I would believe that that's true, because here's the thing. For those who are wrestling fans, if you know this already, how many of you guys know The Amazing Red? Do you know who his cousin is? I'll tell you. Zelina Vega. Yes, folks. Zelina Vega and The Amazing Red are related. They're cousins. And she's also related to, of course, the Spanish announce team. all three of them. So, as you can guess, but I would buy that if that was the case, and no one believed her. So, yeah. Now, finally, our last development here. Minami Yuuki, apparently, as you all may not know, she's been sidelined from MARIGOLD for quite a while. We haven't seen her. However, it was reported that as soon as, by the time this video is out, it's already happened, she will be no longer part of MARIGOLD. So basically, she'll be departing from the promotion. However, she did left a little statement on her X account recently. This is what she said. I'm truly sorry to make such a report in the midst of having friends and fans by my side. To everyone who supported me, Yumi Asogai, until now, thank you very much. From here on out, I hope to repay what I have received, continuing activities that are energy everyone in someday. So yeah. Now the last thing we know, she's been recovering from her injuries, but it's still unclear when she'll be back. But I wouldn't be surprised if she does return and either return to MARIGOLD or just go freelancing. That's something I'm sure we could see. But we saw that with Ryoko Sakimura, who's been doing that now. But we'll see. But that's pretty much it what we have for now. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do next, but I am going to try to do some events that are part of of WrestleMania week, like maybe Stardom, maybe the Death Vegas show. Who knows? I'm going to have to catch up with those two somehow, but I'll decide which ones I want to do. I may not do the whole lot, and I apologize to people, but it is what it is. So we'll see. But as of right now, we'll leave things as it is and move forward from here on out. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.